Cool. How you doing?
I'm on a high. I'm like I'm on cloud nine, and then that's not even me, on any herb yet. So
Yeah, let's get
I
that
can't
started.
even I can't even begin to tell you.
Yeah, welcome to for all those of you out there listening. We are recording the first real episode of this session. Um,
It's a series.
yeah. And the point of the series really is just to like have candid conversations between real people in our natural habitat. Uh, got a couple J's here, got some T's here, got the love of my life, Safa Alewi here, my wife. So I'm really excited to get to kind of introduce um my wife to all of y'all, and also get to really start like a whole new part of our lives, like being more public about our lives and being more public about really all the things that we're going through, and using that as a way to support ourselves, just to like have a life out loud that lets us support
Life
ourselves.
out loud.
Yeah. And really the reason why I wanted to make this show is because I was like, at the very least, like our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren will have like something to remember us by. That isn't just like super
Parking.
polished. Yeah, that isn't super polished, and so that they know when they're going through whatever they're going through, doing whatever they're doing, that we were no better than them. That we were just trying to figure
We
it
were
out.
I wouldn't say no better than that, but more so like we were equal. Like we're all equal. Like especially when you're going through things and like, you don't really recognize that, an elder was once your age.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, I take a minute and like, ask my mom what she was like up to. Whenever I turn a certain age, I'm like, what were you up to? Like, what were you doing? And, she's like, she's a woman that's been through a lot. So at a young age, she was like fleeing countries, entering a country she's never, one she's never been to, doesn't know the language. So all these things. And it's like, it in a way makes it like more human. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, wow, you were going through very like nothing my mom was going through is normal. So I can't even use the word normal. But you're also having challenges being presented to you is essentially what I'm trying to get at. And
Yeah.
like, whatever that was for you at that age, it like, humanizes this elder that you have so much, respect and you look up to, so on and so forth. So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking too, we hadn't really talked about your 30th birthday.
ah, I
Your
can't
trip for your 30th birthday.
okay.
So, do you want to like talk a little bit about that?
I do. Before we get into that, I do kind of want to add on to like, why we call it session. I think when I first started kind of like dabbling in herb and like, smoking with the homies, you get the most out of it by like, getting a lot of us and just having a session just geeking about whatever. So it's almost like a little piece of home while we are like thousands of miles away.
100%.
So it's almost like a nod. Like it goes with us wherever we go. But yes, to go back to your question, I did recently turn 30. And then I also I did a very it was obviously it was a trip, but I treated it more so like a ceremony. And yeah, and I'm like, where do I start?
That's
Like,
legit. I'm
no,
just kidding. No, I think
you know better.
I'm not gonna tell a story with Janie. Are you kidding? No, I was thinking to myself like, I want to start more so with,
You're cutting that.
well, huh?
Because the way that you lit up J 5 times,
It took me some time.
you would have thought Lil Wayne was in
It
it.
took me. I mean, well, you got to mimic the best.
Don't try me.
I think that the first thing I wanted to think about was like, what was on your mind, like from your first 1 through 29? Like, what, um, yeah, what challenge do you think you were facing? And do you want to talk about like the intention that you set and a little bit of like your process when it comes to tripping and making sure that like your mind is in the right space before you trip? Maybe we could talk about that before we get into like specifically
Yeah.
how it was.
So the first part of your question, 1 through 29, I mean, wow. Okay. Just like a quick backstory is my family and I, and just being a direct family, my mom, my parents and my brother and I, we migrated here from Iraq. And so like from middle school for me was up until like 5th grade. So from there, 5th grade, I was really just trying to figure out what world I was living in. And then from, let's say, 6 to everything else, I was figuring out where I fell in this world that I now live in. And I think maybe one common thing that, you know, I probably experienced is figuring out who I was surrounded by people that are nothing like me.
Yeah.
We don't speak the same language. We don't eat the same food.
Yeah,
Like
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Like the very, very basics of how my home operated was nothing like the people I was around.
Yeah.
So it was like developing who I was while discovering my surroundings simultaneously. So I was always in like, I guess since birth, I was data research. Like, how much can I collect for me to understand this? How much can I collect for me to, like, you know, grasp this concept or whatever this word is or this slang or whatever it goes on.
Yeah.
And I think that is like the overarching theme for up until 30 was like, who am I? And that is such an important question. And why is it just, what do I like to eat? You know, my music, not like so much the surface stuff, but more so like, what are my values? What's important to me?
Yeah.
What are my boundaries? Like, I really like, I think boundaries are important, but I think, I think people have drugged the word. Like, it's been dragged. So it can kind of come off as cliche and just, you know, like, oh yeah, of course, just another one. But I do think it's important to know what you like tolerate and what you don't. And that's more so kind of like what I mean about boundaries. What am I okay with sliding? And what am I not okay with, like, you know, just like slipping under the rug and I have to stand up and say something about it. Right?
Yeah.
And that was like one of the lessons that I learned when I had the ceremony. And to answer your second part of your question is like, how do I prepare for a trip? What intentions do I set? I am
Wheezy.
I wouldn't call myself like, I don't know if I would necessarily call myself an expert, a fanatic for sure. You know, a student really. But you know, the world of mushrooms, whether they're oyster mushrooms that I'm cooking in my kitchen or whether they're, you know, some sort of like albino mushroom that I'm putting in my tea, or there's I have a lot of respect for our fungi friends. So after years of experience with them, years of understanding.
How many years?
Oof. How many years? I think the first time I tripped
You said you think the first time you tripped?
was like, I can't remember if it was before or after 26. I want to say it was 2015. 2015, 2016, so almost like a decade ago
Mm.
was when I first started dabbling, honestly.
Mm.
And I would, and not even dabbling, I had one experience and then never came across it again ever. Cause like it wasn't something that was popular.
Yeah.
That's not was like, if you had that was a rarity.
Mm.
You know, it was very hard to get your hands on. But yeah, I would say about like at least 8 years.
Mm.
A little foggy on the specifics, but
Yeah.
a long time. A long time. Even the first time that I did it out of just pure curiosity. I just did it to see, like, you know, I knew it was so weird because, like, I knew that, like, I'm going to find connection with this experience. And by connection, I do mean in, like, Mother Gaia and, you know, the universe, the spirits, the soft things around us in life that we don't see with our regular lenses. And that's what I feel like mushrooms does for me. Even if it's like microdosing, which I'm a huge fan of, it fine tunes your vision, you know, like you're seeing the same things that you do like every day, but it almost makes it like you're seeing it in HD.
Mm.
Like the color is more colorful. Everything is vivid. And there's this like appreciation for legitimately everything that surrounds you, down to the lamp that is, you know, just in the background. You often wouldn't even notice the fact that that lamp has been placed there as long as it's been placed there. So, yeah, that was my first experience. Not even knowing what I was going into, but still knowing that I'm going to gain something out of this. So I thought that was pretty dope.
So not who, but like, what did you know about it and how did you find out about it?
Oh, I did so much research.
Where?
Online.
Where?
Like Google.
Just Google?
Reddit. Hella Reddit. Reddit's got your back for real. Especially with stuff like this. I did so much research before getting into it. I didn't just was like, oh, LOL vibes. Like, no, sir. Like how to prepare, what to like, just like, you know, doing mushrooms for the first time. Like, and that's where I got my influence was to be in nature. Mind you, it's like freezing. It's like, I think October in Nova. And I had this beautiful, bright idea. I was chaperoned, right? So I was just going to be this little giggly fairy, you know, set loose. And, yeah, I was chaperoned. And I was like, I gotta go to Shenandoah.
Based off the research you got,
Yeah.
you were like,
I'm gonna be outside.
so without the research, you think you would have, like, did anybody ever talk to you in person about it?
Oh, no. It was all everything.
Mm.
Nobody even also, like, told me about mushrooms. Like, oh, I've done mushrooms and I feel like this. Like, not really.
But you're just like, I'm gonna do mushrooms? Or you, like, found
Yeah.
out about it somewhere?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. I don't remember.
Hmm.
I don't remember. But it wasn't like others around me were doing it so frequently that I was influenced to then do it.
Yeah.
No. It was, in a way, very, like, serendipitous. Like, it just was just kind of like a organic flow of findings.
Okay, cool. All right, okay, so that's good. What I wanted to, okay, bet. So bringing it back to the third birthday.
The last reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the years of like knowing how it operates, because you get the most out of it when it's like ritualistic.
Mhm.
Okay. You can get you can get something out of it every time.
Mm.
But the clarity that comes along with like an intentional trip or intentional like intake, you know, night and day.
Mm.
So, um, that's kind of how I set it up this time. It was covered in intention. I got it was and it was on my actual birthday. So something about the day felt like very powerful and light at the same time.
Mm.
So um got things that just that just kind of like spoke to me as I basically a mini altar, right? I had like, you know, some beads that were gifted to me from my uncle from Iraq.
Mm.
I had a little like Iraq booklet that my cousin had gifted me when I visited back home last year. Um, you know, like a baby scarf blanket that I've literally had since like a child. And you know, people have like blankies. I guess it
Yeah.
was like the closest thing to it being a blankie.
Yeah.
Passes because
No.
keep lighting it.
All right, good.
um, but yeah, it's just very beautiful, and it almost felt like a little like I was home. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
a baby picture of me, and I meditated before I started. I put it in a tea. I prayed over it.
What would be like your ideal amount of time to meditate? Or I'm gonna have an answer for you, but just generally speaking, like for an average person, like because like you, you know, I'm gonna go on like I want this show to also be a little educational because
Yeah.
like we're all teachers, and I think that the primary philosophy that I've had is that like, you know, every single person that's around you can show you things. Obviously, you're my wife, but we are using that as an extension. Like I think that sometimes in this world, I think all of us as adults, we know that like the professionals, they're just like us. Everyone's just like us. Like
Everyone's human.
everyone's humans.
Yeah.
Everyone's figuring it out. And like so when as I've gotten older, I try to pay attention to where things come from. Like, is a person speaking from the heart? Are they speaking authentically? Are they speaking honestly? Like, when I think about moms, for example, moms teach their kids all sorts of stuff, right? Like, don't do this, don't do this, this does that. Like, typically speaking, they might not be right. Like, right? Like, we always think about old
Yeah.
wives' tales.
It's
Oh,
up until their experience.
it's up until the experience,
Absolutely.
but you know that when they say it to you, like, and unless it's like crazy, unless you're just gonna believe it to be true because you know where it's coming from. And
Yeah,
you,
she
and
never
you,
want anything to harm me. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I think that when we speak from our own experience, we can speak with that level of authority.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows that, like, yeah, your mom is not like a biologist, so she doesn't know every single thing.
Yeah.
But we can still speak from our experience
Yeah.
with authority. So when like I like to think of there's just like concept in running, right? When you're going on a jog, it's like there's like a light pace where you can easily have a conversation, right, while you're running. Then there's
Right.
like a medium pace. Then there's like a high level pace, right, where you're like, then there's sprinting, right? And so when I think of meditation, most people view meditation sort of as like a difficult task that I feel like is like running, right? It's hard to meditate for a long time, right? Sort of like how it's hard to go on a long run. You can meditate long if you stop, you know, if you like get out the meditation, like technically speaking, you're
Oh
meditating,
yeah.
but you're really doing a light run. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I'm super
Or it's hard to be like in complete samadhi, just in that blissful
Stillness, yeah.
stillness the
Yeah.
entire time. So you're looking for, I feel like, my question is when you're meditating, what space are you trying to get into? Like, I know you're trying to get into a deep space, but like, how long do you think is enough before you
Yeah.
feel like, because everybody who's listening to this has probably heard of bad trips,
Oh,
and
100%.
all that kind of thing. And I think
It's not real.
it's not real. So, but I think meditation, the ritual, are the things through experience that you learn how to make sure the trip is as good as possible.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
starting with meditation, what would you like, Rick? What did you do? What would be like your ideal situation for yourself? And like, what would you like say to like the average person who's going to do mushrooms on their own without you there?
Yeah.
How should they approach that meditation?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, on top of meditation, there are so many factors to make sure that, you know, this is like treated with the utmost care, you know, because this is medicine. That's what we need to
100%.
remember is that, like, you know, it can, there is, you could use it for, um, like recreationally, but, and I can touch on this in a little bit so before I go off on a tangent because we are sparking. Um, how long to meditate? And what was the other question? Like,
So like, what did you do for your birthday? Like, what did you actually do? What would be your, if this wasn't already your dream situation, like if it was the perfect scenario for you to trip, what would that be? Like, how long would you meditate for? And then if you were just to recommend it to someone, like if someone's coming up to
okay,
you,
so for my birthday, what did I do? I think I meditated, I think it was like 15 minutes. I don't remember. How long did I meditate for? Do you remember?
we didn't set a timer, but I think it was like 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it was like, it was pretty significant.
I
Like,
think, yeah.
I was pouring,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
pouring a lot of, everything I had.
Mhm.
But for me, mine was like 15, 20 minutes at least. Like, but also for me, I I can drop into a meditation with, with
You practiced for a
ease.
while.
Yeah, I've been practicing for a few years, so it's quicker. It's quick. Yeah, it's quicker for me to like drop into a meditation, and I have also gained the ability to not, move. Like, when you first start a meditation, it's important to tell your body that like this is now the position that I'm going to be adopting for however long that I want to meditate, and your body will respond and listen. Um, so for my birthday, I did 15, 20 minutes, and because I have been like meditating for quite some time, it's easier for me to do that long. But I think for starters, um, anywhere between 3, 5, and 7 minutes, I think. I don't know. Those are kind of the numbers that came up to me, especially when you really haven't like meditated for like, if you haven't meditated ever, the feeling of having to keep your spine up straight and keep like a posture for 3 minutes, it's intense. So I would say in between the increments of 3, 5, and 7. 10 is too long, I think.
For your first time?
For your first time, if you've never done it, 10 is a long time
So-
to meditate.
Yeah, I think now we can go into a tangent of like, what do you mean by meditate? Like
Okay, meditate.
erect spine. I think I'm so glad because I was just thinking to myself like, I hope you mentioned posture.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
important. That's what builds into like the professionalism of meditating,
Mhm.
right? Because you've been doing this for so long. Like, a dancer, a ballerina, for example, over time, their posture is everything. They move like birds, like swans, like they're so elegant, so graceful. That's over years and years and years of, practice. So I feel like, in a way, it is like a dance, right? Like you perfect this one move. And that's kind of how I see that's for me, that's how like the posture became easier and easier and easier. And it's like,
Crisscross applesauce.
I was just gonna get into that, right?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, and it's not. Don't think of this also as like, if I like ever so slightly twitch, like damn it, right? Like sometimes this right knee is not my best friend, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm already in my position in my half lotus, whatever. My ankle or my knee is gonna start screaming like, you can keep doing this. This is cute for now, but like this is going to be you have a time limit for how much longer we can sit in this position. So you can readjust. Like, it's not that rigid in rules where like you
Yeah.
can't break these rules or else it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It just it cancels out.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, like the universe is like, you fail. Next
Yeah.
trip. Yeah, yeah. This
And
was.
so when you're asking next, actually, this was not gonna be fun for you. And then you also said, what do I need by meditating?
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing for me about meditating and also about yoga is that it's what you want it to be, right? Not like there's no setting rules. Like for one posture, right? Like one ultimate goal of this is the like the most professional level of like most advanced level, I'm sorry, of like this posture right here. But there's so many in between
Yeah.
until you get to this ultra advanced, right? And there's such a wide spectrum that you could fall anywhere. You could be like some people are just naturally like flexible in a way where people who have practiced for years will just never achieve because that's just how their bodies, you know what I mean, were built. Right? And so they're already an advantage. They're already over here. So, and then there are starters where like, you know, people that are joining yoga and are, you know, coming with a background of like, you know, like chronic pains, for example, right? You're going to go on a completely different spectrum, but that doesn't mean that you're not doing it, right? So the same thing for meditation for me. People think that when you meditate, it like full quiet. Like, you know, you're supposed to be like, you can't hear like a pin drop quiet. Like, and I feel like that makes it harder. It makes you talk more to yourself. So, you know, for me, the way that I meditate, for example, is it's like I'm having a conversation with God the whole time, right? I sit there and first I try not to think about anything. I try not to also move. And then because I'm trying to stop new thoughts from like, you know, going into the pool of my brain, I just recognize the thoughts that do come up and I recognize patterns. And then that's something for me to kind of like, you know, why is this coming up a few times for me? Why am I thinking in this same way? Why do I keep thinking about this person? What's the significance of me thinking about this person that I haven't thought of in 3 years? Right? So recognize what passes by, what passes through. So that's like, I'm not doing anything up here, but I'm meditating.
You've just been concentrated on doing a thing. You're trying to do a thing.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, and because I am looking for direction, I'm looking for, answers, you know what I mean? I'm looking for something for me to discover about myself, dive deeper into something. Like I just want a hint, right? Just a hint, and then I can dissect, right? And specifically for my birthday when I was doing this, it was really like, you know, being very open to receive from every direction. Because I am going into a new decade and I am, you know, in the mix of my solar return. So there are
Saturn.
Thank you. But it was a solar return technically.
Yeah, it was your solar return.
Saturn. That's not wrong.
Yeah. Never that.
Saturn return. No, I was saying you. Yikes. So I know things are happening that aren't making sense to my typical self. And going into this birthday, I knew that I was kind of breaking up with my typical self and finding, you know, the star of the next show of the decade of my 30s. You know what I'm saying? Is same character, new star. So yeah, while meditating, I anything and even if it didn't make sense, even if I didn't catch it right then and there, that's okay. But because I was you know, in that space of like, okay, I'm a vessel and I am ready to learn. And um because I had that energy around me once I took the mushrooms, and which I prayed over. And you know, and when I prayed, it was just like um you know, guide me with love. I asked for it to give me the answers that I have been, you know, trying to find by myself. Things along those lines. And then really set the tone for myself. I was surrounded by everything I love. I was surrounded by my dogs, Kimber and Toph. And then Quentin was, you know, present throughout the whole thing, making sure that I got everything I needed. So hydrate like you've never hydrated before. Make sure that there's water around you at all times. And drink it. Don't just leave it there on the coaster. And then I want to circle back to what I was talking about when there are factors to like consuming mushrooms, you know, just kind of like willy-nilly. The thing is you can, but you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, but you're gonna learn it. Okay? This is a medicine. This is a plant. It is not alive. Okay? So it has healing powers, and then it also can be misused. The beautiful thing about mushrooms is that like when you take such a like large dose, like you, at least for me, you can't really take it like consecutively
Not even close.
and then feel the same things. You know what I mean? Like it's not a tolerance. It's just you don't consume it like that. You can't do that big and then try to do the next 2-3 days. Like it just doesn't work. And yeah, when you're putting yourself in that type of space, I think key factors, music, because your nervous systems are so sensitive to everything and anything. Like just the operation of your home can tweak you out. Like if your dishwasher's going off and you're like, where is the sound even coming from? It's not going to make sense to you. So having music to guide you, to soften the ride and to enhance the ride, music, setting, and like surrounding people, and even animals, any creature, any like living thing around you. It's not something that I just do around anyone, because it puts me in such a vulnerable state of like hyper awareness. You know, I'm very selective with the crowd that I surround myself in and the setting that I do it in, because like for example, I don't smoke cigarettes, there's like no nicotine consumption on this side at all. No, thank you. And that's just on my like day to day. But when I even maybe like even microdosed, if I have any fungi, start my day, even my day, whatever, if I've just consumed some, I can smell a cigarette from blocks away.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
I
I've
literally,
seen it.
it's like I smell it and then my eyes immediately are just like, like have you ever seen, I don't remember like old like Disney shows when they were trying to like spy kids or whatever and they're trying to like find whatever x-ray. That's what my brain is doing, immediately trying to find whose fingers is holding a cigarette because I'm running in the opposite direction. Yeah. Music, people around you, setting,
Yeah, so
hydrate.
music, so what do you mean by that? Like we all like different types of music, so what music do you think is better?
Um, I think you want, I wouldn't even say better. It's a warmer hug is how I'd explain it. Like some tunes can make you feel like someone's just giving you like the coolest hug. And just some like little examples of songs will give you maybe like an idea of the vibe that you want to cultivate. Or just kind of like the songs we want to curate around is Roy Ayers, Everybody Loves the Sunshine. That is delicious. Okay. Khruangbin, probably any Khruangbin. Close Your Eyes, Pick One is a good one. Khruangbin is a very popular one, and I also would say some Tommy Guerrero. And for people that don't know who these are, whose artists are, think funky, musical, like instruments rather, you know what I mean? Not so many lyrics, but it's like you're getting some of them don't even have like Tommy Guerrero doesn't even like most of the music are just like guitar. Hermanos Gutierrez, guitar. There's no music, I mean, there's no lyrics in their songs. And probably some Coco Roco. FKJ for sure. So like we're talking about instrumentals, like instruments sound so good. Music, you can dissect it. It sounds so good. Like everything else is enhanced, right? This purple's just a bit brighter than I've ever seen. Okay. And I can hear the little like bell in some songs that like are usually not in the forefront of the song. Yeah, that's what I would probably advise. Maybe some Jimi Hendrix. That'd be sweet. Like gentle songs, more mellow. Because that's the space that you're entering.
Yeah, I like what I love about yoga is like it emphasizes peace of mind, and it's interesting. Like, yeah, you want things that are gonna be peaceful. Like, it's not really a game. Like, it's like it is a medicine, and it's like it's meant to like establish homeostasis. So you want like, yeah, because it's like I would listen to certain songs that I would love like in my normal state, typical state, where it's just too aggressive, or you listen to it.
You just feel frustrated.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah. So now that you've meditated, I wanted to like talk a little bit about the altar.
Yeah.
And what like, yeah. Why an altar? Yeah. Why do you want to have an altar in the first place around you?
That's a good question too. Also, probably one of the first times that I said an altar.
Mm.
There's a lot of firsts in this one.
Yeah.
Um, I think an altar because I was just like it felt like ceremonial,
Mm.
right? It felt like home and familiar, you know what I mean? Like in some of my favorite things that like the way I was thinking about it is like, what are some pieces that are undeniably me in every direction?
Mm. Mm. Like the highest you
The
do.
deepest
Yeah.
parts of me,
Yeah.
right? Like my cousin who gave me the little like baby Quran
Mm.
also gifted me like Zemzem water. And for those that don't know, Zemzem water is like basically holy water that I think you can only get. I'm gonna butcher this, but somewhere. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna try it because I can't even think of it right now. But that's like home. That's like around right there.
Mm.
And then and that was like what I was like channeling a lot. I think it was home. I keep hearing home. Yeah, it was a lot of home because this is new home
Mm.
and hasn't really been established as deep as the others.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And yeah, I felt like I needed to honor myself and really just like recognize and take a step back and be like, what makes me me? If I only had this many things to be like, you know,
Mm.
this is the me box without overcrowding it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's how it was for me. It was really sweet.
Yeah,
It was
it
really
was
sweet.
quite beautiful.
There's a lot of orange. I love it.
Altars are very focusing
It
too.
was so beautiful. Yeah, it was so beautiful.
Like out of all the things in the room, it's like that spot is supercharged.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's where I was at. Like it was right next to me. He was eye level with me. And it was and I don't know, part of it could have also been like, presents for my ancestors. And like I feel I don't know. So if I can get into kind of like
Yeah.
into
I was gonna
juice
say
of
this is a
it.
good part. 'Cause I think we talked about all of the things around it, before it, to it.
And perfect like entrance into this is yeah, it was like really fully stepping into myself. That's what I felt like I was about to discover. And then like you feel like you feel sometimes there goes a part like for me some of my 20s it barely felt like I was having a birthday. Like it felt like it was the number just kept going up real fast.
Mm.
And I wasn't really seeing a lot of like significant changes in like my beliefs, my people. There weren't really like many changes from like, oh yeah, when I was your age,
Yeah.
27, I was,
Yeah.
things were starting to happen enough for me to remember that like that was significant. Losing friendships, gaining friendships, changing up your style, your hair. These are all phases, these are all changes that like, are a lot more prominent that I discovered at the end of my like 20s going into my 30s. And if all those things, if all those other things are shedding, I want the internal things to shed. And I want, like the truest parts of me to rise. Right. Like I really wanted to just like step into myself undeniably. I didn't know how. I didn't know I was just in this like helpless, like I don't even want to use helpless, but just like I was like, I know I'm self-aware, I know I can find the result, but I need a little push. Just give me just a little bit of like information and I promise I could take care of the rest, right? And like while I was going through the thick of it. Like when it first started to kind of like, present itself, like, my hands start to become softer. I start to feel my hands a little differently. That's when I know like we're, we're entering another realm of experience right now. Um, and not gonna go into like a lot of like what happened. For one, I really don't remember as much. Um, but also really like I am fully accepting the fact that I am like super powerful and powerful in ways that I have tried to kind of like soften over the years because, you know, you don't want to scare everybody. Being a woman, being an Arab woman, and also coming up from the background of like, you know, coming coming from like out of culture, it's like as a woman, watch yourself. Don't do too much. And always rode that little fine line of like, when do I speak up for myself? Do I speak up for myself? You know, nah, it's okay. I'll be the bigger guy. Like, I'll be the bigger person. We'll just charge to the game. But that happened more often than like me standing up for myself or confronting something enough to be like, oh, I don't like this.
Like
So-
you were saying, learning where to establish your boundaries.
Exactly. And like over time, you know, being okay with just letting things slide just for the sake of others and also for the sake of just like avoiding like people are going to get upset, just like avoiding a lot of just like drama that I guess it can be perceived as drama because for real it's not really drama when you're like, that makes me uncomfortable, or hey, this is just behavior that I don't like. Hey, I would appreciate it if you just, not do that around me. That shouldn't be drama. I think protecting yourself and protecting your peace is one respected.
Everybody should do that
Thank you.
with just like a straight face.
And then it be okay. Just
Yeah,
like how
normal
our
part.
astrological charts are so different, you just gotta respect the fact that like this person's got 6 Virgo placements, so they're gonna want to start cleaning the baseboards within hour 1 of being, like at your crib. They're like, yeah, let's play some games, and then you find them like cleaning your bathroom with a toothbrush. That's just gonna happen.
Yeah, they're having fun.
At the time of their lives.
They're having a good time.
The time of their life. This is everything they could have dreamed for. But like it was one of the most profound experiences for me, the most memorable, the most everything for me. I cried so much. And then I honestly don't think I cried that much. Oh, and that was another reason. LOL, I'm glad we're talking about this. That was another reason why I was like, if anything, I just need a good cry. I've got some things in here that are well like overdue that I need to let it leave my body. And one thing about me is I don't cry. I have a hard time crying. I don't feel the need to cry. And then it's just like, I don't know what it is. I haven't discovered it. Like, I haven't gotten to the root of the problem yet.
And there is no right answer on when and how.
I don't, and I also wonder if I should even take it in the angle of like something's being suppressed. But I don't cry unless I'm like, super hurt or like, I mean, really, I can probably sit here, like the real cries I'm talking about, count them. But anyways, so I was like, if anything, if I don't get any answers at all, I just want to cry. And it was like I would try my best to cry and then catch myself and then be like, nah, you good.
Mm.
So many times.
Mm.
And then other times I want to cry and what I wanted to bawl.
Mm.
Like I wanted to like, not sound pretty
Yeah.
and get it out.
Yeah. I didn't know about that.
Exactly.
Good old
And I was
fashioned.
here like,
Yeah.
right? Like muffled. So that I found to be very interesting. So that was the start of the messaging that I was getting. It's just like I was realizing that like wow, it's really hard for me to cry even under these circumstances. How is it so hard for me right now? Then as time went on, I was going through more emotions and I towards the end of it, I got a journal and was like, you know, whatever comes to my mind, I'm just in a pen and paper, right? We're gonna write it. And the pen just hovered over the paper. I couldn't even start. I couldn't even think of what was like I remember thinking like what's worthy enough to be like the first thing for me to write? Like what should like it's just like it has to be major. Like this has to be groundbreaking. So for me that translated into like this like hidden perfectionism of me beginning projects, doing anything. Anything. You know how long it's been since I posted on Instagram? Posting anything on Instagram is too long for me because I'm like, no, yes, no, no. And then like now I'm never gonna post it. Caption, forget about it. So that was okay, another thing. So first now it's can't cry. Don't know what that is yet. And then now I can't even start a sentence, a word, anything. Hello, Safa, anything. So I finally started going and scribbling and just writing whatever was coming to me and just like letting it flow. And it was a lot of voice, power, strength.
What do you mean by that?
These are the words I'm getting. As I'm writing, these are the words that were coming up to me.
Okay.
Right? And what do I mean by like each of these words that are coming up and how are they significant?
Yeah, like what are the other words around them? What's the context?
I can't find my journal. I wish I had it.
What did it mean to you today, I guess?
Okay. Today, it's stand in your power. And intuition was one of them. Yeah, I think perfectionism gets in the way of intuition. Because you might have an impulse to begin something because you just trust, right? And you're just gonna do. Perfectionism is like, did we take this through yet? You sure we're gonna do it like that? I mean, you can still do it, but what if you did it like that, but then like this? Just thought. Then that is like 3 more times of options. But what if you did it like this? And what if you did? And then at this point, you're like, girl, fuck it, I'm not doing none of that.
Do you feel like you waste time if you don't? do
So much
perfectly?
time.
Or no, well, I guess I should say, do you think that while you're in this state, do you feel like you're afraid that that you're going to be wasting time if you do something imperfect? Like why?
Oh, like
What's why are you? Where is the perfectionist coming from?
Where is it coming from? I don't know. Probably has something to do with the fact that I'm a double Leo and like the standard that I hold for myself. Not saying it's healthy,
Mm-hmm.
but the standard that I hold for myself is it's pretty high. So, and it just keeps getting higher. It keeps getting higher. Huh. So that would be like the perfectionist bit. Voice was important, and it's probably my favorite. Like it's been the most challenging, the most uncomfortable, but probably my favorite one that I'm tackling currently. Because voice for me was very loaded, very layered. Coming from an Arab culture, you know, typically you just, as a woman, as a girl, you just gotta take the back seat. You know, exist, but don't say too much. Don't have too much of an opinion, so on and so forth. And my mom made sure to make that to be the opposite in my upbringing. So I know I had it in me. It wasn't something that was unfamiliar to me, but over the years I suppressed it, I think. No, not I think. Over the years I've suppressed it, period. And I guess I kind of want to tap into astrology a little here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stereotypes, a lot of stigma when it comes to Leos, where like, you know, we want our face plastered everywhere in our house, right? Like that's the thing that we want the most. Like we want you to talk about us every second of the day. We need all this attention. It's like yes, because our star sign is the sun. So this can't be made up. But being too loud, being too obnoxious, being too much ultimately, and I have a lot of that inside of me. So it was like it was hella internal battle. I was battling all my life. It's just like say something, no, like just like say that this bothers you. It's okay, but then now they're gonna think that you're answer whatever it is here thought that I'm having. Like, but now and then you go make them uncomfortable, and it's okay because it's really not that big of a deal, right? Like now you're overthinking it. Like whatever it is that's bothering you, we can let it go. You know what I mean? What it's called, like water under the bridge.
Yeah, water under the bridge.
There you go. I got it. Water under the bridge. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. So I've done that so many times that like I forgot the lessons that my mom had instilled in me for just a brief moment. For just a brief moment, I forgot that my mom was like, growing up, she's like, don't let anyone ever not let you, like when you're in a space and you want to express yourself, don't ever let anyone like disrupt that. Like, if you have an opinion, it's worth saying. You have a thought, you have something on your mind, speak it. So I've always been opinionated. Because she's like...
And an overthinker.
And an overthinker. Yes. Naturally, yes. But, so that was voice for me. And partially why I couldn't cry. And I couldn't make... Like, there was a blockage. Like, it literally felt like there was a lump in my throat. So that was voice. Strength was one.
And I think, can I say something more?
Please. I feel like I'm rambling.
No.
I'm rapping, please. I'll take a second. Good.
No, I was gonna say like I think what's dope about like as you get older, like I think it's something interesting where it's like have faith in yourself to be where you're at. Like you don't have to be the best. You're not going to be the best in every space. I like to think of it like when you're a kid, like when you're a little kid and you have that impulse to express yourself and like stand your ground, do those things, like you have to have faith in those impulses in those moments as a part of like our development. I think sometimes, yeah, like every time before we got beat, like, like we had the boldness to do that activity, but like beat it into submission and like we're wiser now, but we still maintain that like beat yourself into submission to be perfect,
Yeah.
to not be worthy of like reprimanding. And I think like another thing that's very important about parents too, and like what's difficult about being raised like that is first of all you have to live under the jurisdiction of two cultures that are different. Like like
So
the
conscious.
reason why you keep saying Arab woman is like, yeah, those of you that don't know, it's like, it's they have their way of civilization essentially, and then and the American way of civilization, and then you're also like, obviously in Black culture and around like, just
Yeah.
like all the things that you're into, there's all these little layers of things that also add to the pie. The way that your language is oriented is different, and like it is a more dramatic language in its base. So like, so even the way that it's
I love
expressed,
that you're saying this right now.
the way that it's expressed.
And
So
he's
like,
adopted.
nah, I
He's
get it.
proud of
I
things.
get
Stop
it.
denying.
I'm observant. I love you. So
That's so true, though. That is such a good point to make because, like,
like you're like
we're despite.
it's like almost like drowning in tears of
Oh,
love.
yeah. Okay, so for those that don't know Arabic, don't speak Arabic, English, honey.
what was the first thing?
Where I said, simple language, simple mind.
Yeah, simple language.
Y'all would never get it. Your
Simple
language
language.
is so. I don't care. Call me a hater. I don't care.
That's so funny.
It's such a simple. It's so flat. That's kind of like the only way that I have
It
to
is
describe
corny.
it. It's so flat.
It's not his fault though.
No,
It's
don't
not my
try to go
fault.
defend it.
I mean, it's not my fault.
It's your first one. I don't know what to tell you. Arabic
I speak.
is. You barely speak English.
I barely speak English. I stutter.
But Arabic is the most beautiful, most romantic, most every like sweet words that you didn't know could describe such sweetness. Okay?
Yeah.
Like it's it's just the most stunning form of expression. Like top tier, honey. Top tier. But anyway, so that's just Arabic. But no, I mean not but. And being the fact that I'm like Iraqi, it's like
Yeah, it's extra.
we're not quiet. Like we're loud. And like it's like, they're the ones that you make fun of. Like I had so many like this is just how my family talks. We're on the phone and like shouting. And everything's okay though.
Everything's normal.
Everything's fine. I'm just trying to talk to you. It's so passionate. It's so like expressive. It's waves of emotion. It's waves of like communicating of like there's so many ways of like how I can tell you I'm feeling one way. I'm feeling this one specific emotion. And I can draw the imagery. That's what it is too. It's like I can draw such a beautiful picture to describe how I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, the love I have for you. Like,
I think that that's the part of you that is meant to shine. Like, I think that like what's so dope about, loving you and like getting to know the romance is like, yeah, like as an American, as a Black American, yeah, we really got to step our romance game up. And I think like, but I think that like, yeah, obviously on the other hand, your cuss words are also that intricate. So it's like the emphasis on like,
yeah, you don't want to get cussed out in Arabic, honey.
not at all. Yeah, you'll be like,
it'll hurt some feelings.
yeah. So I think that, yeah, like having faith that you can use your voice and like you have such like, although you have to kind of like battle the like all the different like things that are over top of you. You also have like a wider, vaster like library of wisdom, and as obviously that you can apply now, and that basically like, okay, now we're grown now, like, and like we're dying now, like like really like eventually, this is what they say, like after 30 it's like
Yo, I'm more
all the
alive
numbers
30.
start going down, like, so I think like it's so well timed, and it's so interesting that like you're taking like your altar, you're like the meditating, the setting, the all these different things are like being in a new space. Like even you being in a new space is also like kind of you. You know what I mean? Like being in a new space, acclimating to a new space. Like you went from Iraq to Jordan, I think, and
Mhm.
from there to like you were in the States, in a couple different states, and even in the States you moved around to like
Very
different
frequently.
counties.
Yeah, very frequently.
So I think that there's something about you that's like, you didn't talk about your moon, but your Gemini moon,
Oh
and
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
fairiness to you. There's like a part of you where it's like, you come, you pull up, and you're like, ah, like
See ya.
I'm here to see it, and to never lose your, and I think you're just, yeah, like what I see is like you are learning life lessons that let you never lose your composure
Mm.
in any of those phases.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you can be there and you're not gonna be square, and then you're gonna dip, you know. Um, so where were we? Continue with like the things that you're. Do you want to continue with what
Yeah, I think I was talking about voice, and you were talking about why voice was so important to me because
Yeah,
language and my like cultural background and
yeah,
like um and that was a big part of why voice was so important was because I am so multifaceted. I'm so layered. There's so many components to me that make me who I am, and that's who I am.
it is what it is, cuz
And
you have to live with that.
period at the end of that. Because like, and I really I can't, I just love the fact that I'm 30. I love it. I love it because now I don't care about anything. I don't care that you don't like me. I don't care that we might not get along, but we got to work in the same space. That's fine. We could be cordial, but I just don't care so much about so many things that catch me at 23, 25. That's all I'm thinking about. It's consuming my brain. I'm on Snap talking about it. Like when Snap was still alive.
People still use Snap. I've seen it.
I've seen it and I ignore it.
Yeah, they're not.
No, sir.
They're okay. You guys are great. Like, but
no, but like now I don't care about a lot. So if I am too loud and you don't like that I have a different sense of humor than you do,
it just is what that is. It'll just be
I
that.
really don't have any other words but these hands. Like okay. So if there was gonna be any time for me to like revisit the trueness of myself, what's a better time than now? Then like remaining this way, that like I'm moving so that others around me are comfortable. No. Even in the slightest ways, no. The way that I prioritize myself, like just by default, and not in a selfish way, not like me first, but it's like protection type of like, and it's like standing up for yourself. I think that's part of it too. It's like part of voice is standing up for yourself and just like, being the advocate that you deserve. Like if it's not you, then it's probably your mom. Then it's your best friend who's like, you're not about to talk to her like this. You know what I mean? Or just like, you got people that got your back, but you need to have your back. That's kind of what I'm trying to say when I say stand up for yourself.
I love that.
You know?
I have something that like complements that so well. I don't think I got to tell you a little bit about it. Is like it was really inspiring, and what I think like what the sun represents, you know, as the like the ruling planet of Leo is like it represents that dominance. All the other planets are reflecting the sun's light, and your mom is like, there's something in you that is special that ought to be expressed. Like Leo is that which is worth attention. Like, you know, that's what y'all mature into. Like
That's really sweet.
fruit bearing trees
That's
that
really sweet.
like draw others around them. It takes time. And that's what your thinking process is like so beneficial to you. And at the same time, it's like intuition is still king, right? And like
100%.
your thinking process is subservient. It goes, this is the intuition. How do I now think to make it happen?
Period. That's it.
And that's standing up for yourself
Yes.
because that intuition's you.
Well said.
And that's what Leo represents, is it represents it on the outside because the external is always a reflection of the internal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm not gonna let
Thoroughly.
I'm not gonna let you cause that attention to me externally. Not because I don't like
What?
you, but
But
because
that's just unacceptable.
that's what I was gotta be.
That's unacceptable. We don't tolerate that. No. No.
But with all due respect. So I think I love that. I love seeing that in you, and like, you know, since I live with you, like that's really how you are, right? So
I'm
like,
thorough, okay? I'm thorough.
and I think like, yeah, I love to see that. I love to see it in you. I've been holding this like Leo lighter this whole time.
You love speed.
So what?
Yeah, no,
is-
truly.
Yeah.
I love the way you said that. That was so good. That was so good because that's really what like I meant by intuition too, is that like it's like whatever first thought that you have, it's that you need to listen to. Because I've recognized in me and in others, intuition will often be
Unless
the
it's a
first
hater.
thought. Huh?
Unless it's the hater voice.
That's what listen to.
Okay,
me.
yeah,
Listen
bad.
to me. So the first thought,
Mm.
I'm talking about this scenario because there's several scenarios. I'm picking up what you're putting down. The first thought that you could have of like, you know, say it's for example, I had a friend that was meeting up with some musicians for the first time, and they were meeting up at a spot where it was like pizza and beer, but they don't drink and they are gluten free. So it's just like, I can't do anything here. Like,
Yeah,
this is
I
supposed-
look.
yeah, I mean, like, this is not fun for anybody. So her first thought was like, I don't really want to do this. And then she's like, no, it's okay, whatever. Like, you know, I can just go. And I was like, what was the first thought you had? Didn't do that. At least say something, right? Turned out they ended up getting like, you know, going to the spot, maybe going to a park. I think they were trying to do something like that. Or they just stayed there at the spot. But point being is that like, you know, whatever the initial like advice, if it sounds like it's a hater, bless you. If it sounds like it's a hater, then it's your hater voice. You know what I mean? Nah, you're not really that good at that. That's a hater. That's not your intuition.
No, God.
And okay,
You're not
one thing
lying.
to recognize is that your intuition is not here to put you in a bad position.
Well,
Your intuition is your like, it's like your voice that's connected to the spirit world almost, I would say. Because you can get messages through your intuition.
you know what
Like,
you're making me think
You're
of?
spot on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that, like, for example, for you, your intuition is sharp? sharp and it's gotten you out of sticky situations. Sink. Hi there. The moment that Quentin gets a feeling of like, we need to leave, you don't question it. It's not making sense right now, but we gotta go. And oftentimes, it was the perfect time to leave. Whether we're at a concert and he's like, I think now is the time to go. Either something happens, the crowd is crazy. Like, timing is so perfect in that. And that's not a hater. Like, that's not the voice saying, hey, you should, this is not going to benefit you in a way. It feels like protection.
Yeah.
Guidance.
It's like this moment's not disgusting.
I wouldn't call it disgusting.
No. I'm saying like that's what the intuition makes me feel like. Where it's like, oh, something about this moment is sour. You should leave.
Oh, that's the sensation
Like,
you
shouldn't
get?
consume this anymore.
Oh, no. You're just like, over it.
This experience.
Do you know what's funny? That's how you respond, too.
Oh.
Like, even like, it's like we could be doing something. Like, we're at a concert, right? Here. We're at a concert. And it's nearing the end. They also tell us, hey, y'all, this is our last song. Before they even finish the last song, we're still kind of grooving, moving, and then Quentin just like this, legitimately within the snap of my fingers, goes, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. No explanation, but you can just feel the change and then the shift of like, over it. I don't want to be here anymore. Just get me out of here. Get me out of here. It's literally like you have the plague of wherever you, wherever you're like, get out.
It's like someone farted. I'm like,
that's so funny. Thank you. But yeah, and like, the way you said, my expression is, is it my expression you said, or is it you said something was like internal and external. I can't remember what you said that was.
What I think I said was like, I was talking about.
Oh, like my external reflects my internal or something?
Yeah.
So I'll take that just a notch deeper. Like whatever I feel internally literally reflects in my facial expressions. I can never lie. I can't pretend I'm feeling a way if that's not really the trueness of what I feel. I'm so bad at lying. And that's another reason why I'm like, why am I acting like I can just brush these things off to the side? And then like I'm not uncomfortable. Like I'm uncomfortable. Listen, take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
I really don't want you to. You
put your mask over your nose, cuz.
Way too close.
You're funny.
Way too close. Okay. So I have to embrace, even the way that I was created was like, you can never be anything than true. Like you cannot pretend. Like even certain jobs I've had to quit. I'm like, I can't pretend like I want to be here. I gotta go, because now I'm gonna start having an attitude. And then you're gonna be like, why you have an attitude? I'm like, I don't know what attitude you're talking about. Like, it's just getting.
I don't know what attitude you talking about. This attitude. You are so funny.
So we're just gonna avoid it all. We're gonna avoid all that.
Yeah, it's like the sun is all light. I'm sorry. It's just that.
Just
I don't know what to tell you.
I have nothing.
But it's a good principle, like, for anybody to embrace more of in your life wherever there's problems, because it's like a lot of the times, like we cannot afford to pretend. Our life is too short. Like that's what I had to do to get there. Was like I wasn't necessarily born with like that Leo prominent in my sign, but yeah, like we only have one life. You cannot be pretending. Like make the best out of this life. That's the root of the perfectionist impulse, but it gets in overdrive when
There's a lot of
thinking
it.
comes in. When
Yeah.
thinking comes in, it influences when it combats intuition.
Yes.
But it's like intuition, then thinking. But what I love about Leo too is like what you're saying though is like, you know, at any given point you have a position. Like I'm the reason why I don't why you wouldn't want this person or like this like perfectionist thinking, whatever, like however you want to look at it, the internal versus the external being a problem to you is because like you're trying to live a peaceful life. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to have a good time. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to like primarily you're trying to play. like
trying to giggle
trying to giggle. Like,
and frolic.
you are messing up the giggling and the frolicking with this behavior.
You getting
We
in the
need
way
to-
of my
Yeah, and I
plans.
think that like just having faith that like, oh, I'll find my lane. Oh, I'll find my lane. Like I don't need to be I don't need to be in this little lane. Like in order like
conform.
to not frolic, you done lost your mind.
I risk it all for a good frolic. Stop playing with me.
Risk it all. And I love that. I love that guiding principle that God like because I really think that's what God wants for you.
Yeah.
It's like God's like, do not think. Like, yes, there's going to be challenges along this frolicking process,
Of course.
but never lose sight of like that thing that brings you that childhood like joy, like that thing that you know, like what Soul said, like that spark, you know, like that really got you interested in living life was like on Earth I'm gonna be able to frolic.
And you know what's so beautiful about the baby picture that I had on my altar?
Uh-huh.
That was that.
Yeah.
Like her.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think I maybe was like 6, 7. I really have no idea. But it was like when I look at her, she's like the most precious and most authentic form of me, right? Like I have, you know, strong Leo energy, but I also was shy, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
And at that age, I was more shy than I was like outgoing. And so like, you know, understanding that part of me still exists, right? Like there's like a sense of like that me as a child, I was very much like, you know, I'm not trying to do too much. I'm not playing outside because, you know, dirty. You know, I was very like small, fragile. So I wasn't doing a lot of activities. And again, coming from my cultural background, I'm not going out to play with my brother. Like I'm not, you know, the fact that I had a bike with Ivy was kind of crazy. You know, that was progressive.
So you're able to move on 2 wheels.
Yeah,
You're driving basically.
Not even no. It's just the way it was. They're so annoying, but it's basically just like the position that like you are in when you're in a bike. It's like porn.
Oh, you're just
I'm writing stuff. It's so
porn.
unnecessary.
I get it because I can understand.
So like they're like, are you just gonna display your ass just poking out like that? Like, you know. So
Do you want to
progressive? No, I'm all right. Thank you. But yeah, all that is a good point. All that, thank you for saying that. And I appreciate like there being another like set of eyes that, you know, you see me move differently than I think I see myself, you know, move in my life. Yeah, so voice was fun and still is. I think I'm having the most fun with it. Because it's also like the people around me, I want them to be able to like I want to be like fully myself.
Yeah.
Because this is what you're about to get.
All day, every day.
And that's why strength was also one of the words. Because Leo season was very powerful for me. This chaotic because it's always during retrograde.
You
Flip that some
put
shit.
that thing down, flip it,
You know, I
and
just
reverse
recently,
it.
I swear, like maybe just a few years ago, I recognized that, like, wait a minute, I haven't had the greatest birthdays. Historically speaking, most of my birthdays have been messy. All of them have been messy except for like maybe a handful of them. So now I'm like, oh, it was Mercury after all these years. meddling.
Meddling
Right?
in your affairs.
But I think this being more aware of it has allowed me to like go with, the grain than against the grain, because then it happens and it happens. If it's not supposed to make sense, it's just not gonna make sense. The strength also being during Leo season, significant. It's all connected. So the strength in voice, the strength in letting go of perfectionism and just being, the strength of being, and the strength of intuition, just finding power and strength, and just like a lion sits. You know what I mean? Like the way a big cat. What?
Dog, when you hear
Are you
lion
joking?
roar,
Are you
when
joking?
you hear lion
Have you
roar,
ever
it's
seen
time
like
to
a pretty
go.
cat just like, yeah, power, strength, like just like
And
the
there's like a stillness too.
the stillness, yes. So it's like everything, all of that. So it was pretty, pretty beautiful experience. And I think that the result has been, because it's been a little over a month. So I'm 30 in 1 month.
Yes, you are.
Is I remember the lessons every day. Like like my intuition is so sharp nowadays, because I just let it be. And like you said, like when you have this like message from your intuition, you're just like, okay, got this. Now what am I going to do to make that happen? That's just like the operation. Done.
What I love about you too is like, what I've noticed about you is that, unlike what the Leo stereotype, and I think this is why you get frustrated with Leo stereotype, is that like your first instinct is to then see what others think. Like when you're like, okay, I want to take this next step. What do y'all think? And like it's interesting that you're like your natural interest is to reach for like community. So be like, okay,
I want to share everything.
what do the people around me? What do y'all think about this idea? Like, okay, I have this idea. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And what I find is what I see in your 30s, and especially just with sort of your whole life trajectory, is like Leos don't really, is like, hey, like unless you really want to have a boss, like you're not really meant to have a boss. So what this means to me is like, this is really
It's
like a
my hardest
leadership.
challenge.
It's this leadership phase.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's so cool.
these things that these things that you're trying to build, like, or just exist in, like you said, it's like the frolicking, the giggling, like that's gonna attract a crowd. You're gonna draw people around you, and that's also like because of how you are. It's kind of like, what I like the example I like to use is like bugs at night. Like they always fly to the light. You know what I'm saying? And it's like so it's like, yeah. So it's like sometimes you're gonna like shine your light, but in that process, certain challenges are gonna come your way because they're just drawn to you. And I think that like as you conquer them, that's what makes you a stronger leader. And that leadership, I'm saying, is in every arena. Like it doesn't matter. I'm not saying like corporate, whatever. I'm just saying whatever.
No, we're never saying corporate.
Just saying self leadership.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Self mastery.
Yes, exactly.
And like, because ultimately, like all other energies, like they're all under this one. Like, you know what I'm saying? They all have to bend the knee to the sun. Like everybody has to bend the knee to the lion. That energy of like expression, the voice, like, and I love that you said intuition, because I was reading this book and I wanted to share this with you real quick. We've been talking about how long? An hour and 30, yeah. How do you feel, by the way?
I'm good.
How much longer do you want to speak?
I don't know. I feel like we're about at the end
Okay, cool. All right, Ben. So
of like the whole thing.
what I really wanted to like, just share with you and is I'm like I listened to this audiobook called Outwitting the Devil, and your mom made sure that the devil wouldn't outwit you in these ways.
Oh, you're so
And she was like, uh, in the book, he mentions he's Napoleon Hill is interviewing the devil, and just imagine the devil has to tell the truth. Right?
Mm.
Napoleon has reached a point spiritually where the devil has to tell the truth in this interview, and in it he shares, like he's like it's a very meticulous interview. So it's like he's like I'm trying to get all the details out for my people. Basically, Napoleon Hill is like, because we don't like you. So, and he's like, the first thing he does is he limits people's tendency to think for themselves.
Mm.
Like, doesn't want you to think for yourself, just wants you to like kind of obey, do what everybody else does, just kind of like dim yourself, just kind of comply. He wants us all to submit to fear.
Mm-hmm.
He wants us all to not express ourselves freely and openly and not have faith in the power of our own minds. And what they emphasize over and over and over is like, if you don't have a definite goal for each moment, like if you don't have a goal for each moment, like in this moment, I want to be peaceful, then you're not going to have a scale on how to judge like what should be around you and what shouldn't. Like if you want a peaceful moment, then only peaceful things can be around me, right?
Okay.
And that gives you direction in each moment for your leadership.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like that has to go, that can come here. And
Just be more selective.
but what the way the intuition works though is like it knows your deepest desires. It knows what you want to be. It knows what you're evolving into.
When you
like,
forget it.
Like your intuition is sort of like I like to use like the seed analogy or like the seed of a tree. The intuition is the part of the seed that already knows the max height that tree can develop into. It's the part of the tree that already knows the final design of that tree and knows how things are supposed to work in full order, but it's based off of the seed, right? Like the seed wanted to grow into this. So it's like your desires, your deepest selfless, because it's like you have to, like what I love about what your mom taught you is like, yeah, or what you were saying is like, you got to, all of our lives are about us first. We have to take care of us first. Like, why are we married? Because it's in our benefit, right? Like, why do we have these things around us? Because it's in our benefit. Like, that comes first so that we can actually be servants, because that's the main goal. Like, so when I see, like, what I see in you is like, and what I see as your service to the world is like, express yourself. Like, you're growing in your ability to sharpen your opinions, but have faith in your opinions at the moment and be like, okay, if I have an intuition, if I have a faith, if I have a feeling and faith of like, okay, I should express this, I'll express it. And then I can navigate whatever happens next. But have faith that like, okay, all of this was set by the goal that I have to live in ultimate peace. And my intuition is always guiding me there in each moment. And then my thoughts are meant to guide me there too. And what I really like about you was what you like haven't really expressed here. We'll have to talk about it in a future podcast. But it's like learning how to battle anger.
No, that's definitely gonna have to be covered in a podcast.
Yeah. And not use anger.
You can't just touch on that.
Yeah. But like
that's funny. Yeah.
growing more and more compassionate as a tool to keep the bugs away.
It's
Like rather than zapping all the bugs dead, maybe I can put up a little fortress here. Maybe I can put some berries and shit in that. Maybe I can put a fruit over here to the side that they can ingest and enjoy rather than bother me, rather than just killing.
What a good one, Quentin. That's an A+ because the way that I just forgot that was even part of.
Yeah.
My structure.
That was the 20s.
Hey.
Now the 30s is like now
Yo.
you've learned. Now you know how to wield the tool of anger, and I think that
That's a great point, man.
and yeah, so I think that now you can really go into the world and trust your leadership ability and know that your anger will overcome you, and know that a compassionate double Leo
Unstoppable. Who's gonna say no to me?
giggling and
What? Who's gonna say no to me?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's such a good one. And a really, really, really important one. Specifically for me. Like, specifically for me. That is, yeah. Long story short, I had crazy anger issues. Never really, I don't think you really necessarily need to go to the doctor to be like, hey, your anger is out of control. Like, I could see it very
Anger
clearly.
out of control. You've gone crazy.
I could see it clearly. Like, it does not take much for me to get set off.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So many of us have been there.
Yeah.
And are there.
Yeah. Like, that was crazy. That was a crazy version of myself. But it was necessary for me to get here because then it's just like, you know, there was so much work done to make sure that I was not the angry, bitter, you know, just like, when you're angry, you're mean, right? So like, also for me, it's like, whatever I feel internally will be expressed also externally. So my face is stank. If I'm not even saying anything, my face says more. That was a problem. You know, I was walking around. You know, I was pretty reckless behavior. But, you know, you can't, there's that type of person not fun to be around. So, yeah, this version of myself, I gotta say, might be my favorite. It's a good one.
Oh, look, am I?
It's a good one. Yeah, so I think I've been doing pretty well listening to the advice since receiving it. And I feel different. Like I feel... Okay, this is what I wanted to bring up. There's this shaman named Shaman Omar. And I forget at what level of like shaman he is, but he's pretty advanced. Like he's guided many rituals. But anyways, I was watching this podcast one time of him. Somebody had asked him a question, was like, what did he say? Something about me. I think it was like distractions, or if anything bothers you, or damn, I can't remember what he was being asked. But his response is, he's like, I'm like this, right? In a straight line. And the way that I interpreted that was I am undeniably like guided, right? Where I'm like, this isn't like, I don't let all these other distractions influence, you know, how I make my decisions. I don't need a lot of things. Like I'm not indecisive. That's another sign of strong intuition, is not being indecisive, right? When you are just, you can't make up your mind about anything, your intuition is pretty dull. You're not exercising it. It's not, you know, alive enough, nurtured enough for it to like try to connect with you. And that's something that I've seen, that I've grown within myself, is that I'm not as indecisive as I was before. Whereas before, who knows when the decision was going to get made, but I wouldn't wait around to wait, like, to see what happens. I gotta wait. I don't even want to be here. But, yeah, just like, and that's what it was like. It was like, just be focused. Walk in a straight line. Not like walk in a straight line to like listen like a soldier, but walk in a straight line is in like, walk with purpose. And like grace. I'm also imagining just kind of like someone floating even. Like a majestic, I don't know. But that's for me, one of the goals is I'm going to be able to operate where there's no hesitation. Not saying that hesitation is a bad feeling to have, but I do think it's maybe a distraction. So I want to be so sharp in my trust, like of like intuition and that level of guidance, that it's not supposed to make sense to me. And I'm not even gonna try to figure it out yet. I'm gonna let it keep going and then try to understand as it goes on. Because that version of you that you first had that thought is probably not gonna get it after it happens. And so it happens, and then you're like, oh yeah, I see how all of these things have unfolded, that this actually happened for me, not like, what is it? Not to me. This is not happening to me, it's happening for me. It's happening for you, plenty of abundance. So.
Wow. Well, what I want to do is I want to do a brief little prayer based on the conversation,
Okay.
and I want to just boost all of that. Is that cool?
Okay.
All right. So I'm just gonna hold your hand. You go by many names. Today I'll call you Jah, our Lord. Today was a magical day, all due to your grace and mercy. I come to you with an open heart and a true desire that this woman we call Safa may spend every moment of her life either in bliss or approaching it. May she always find in every moment your gentle guiding voice, yet reigning and governing her decisions. May every step she take be shrouded in mystical awe of how beautiful this little life is. May she be ever more useful. May she be ever more full of pleasure. And may she enjoy every minute that she spends in her body from here until the next. I know that this is already your intention. And I know that this really couldn't happen without you. So we pray in gentle gratitude for the little life we've been given. Amen. Peace. Thank you guys.
Thank you for coming to our first episode of series session. It's been nice kicking it.
Dope.